Hi, good day. Welcome back to my channel. This is again your masked vlogger, and it's been quite a while since I last recorded my last video. And I just thought that, hey, today is going to be a very important day for me to record a video. This one, a live rant, because tomorrow is going to be a national election day. It's going to be a day where we're gonna be voting for our president, vice president, and national candidates, including our local candidates. So it's going to be a very important day. So in this episode, I'll be talking about what we might expect tomorrow. So we all know that there are two leading contenders for presidency if we're to believe the polls. Kung naniniwala tayo sa polls. By the way, this vlog is going to be Taglish, both English and Filipino. Alright, so kung naniniwala tayo sa surveys, for example, according to surveys, there are two top contenders for presidency, and of course, one of these two is leading by double digits. Okay, and that man's name is BBM, or Ferdinand Marcos Jr., or si Bongbong Marcos, and he's followed, of course, by Leni Robredo. But I've never been surveyed ever since I was born, so I don't know. But of course, according to some experts, these pollsters, for example, they believe that polls can be accurate. But you know, we've seen in the past, for example, in 2016, during the American presidential election, when you know, former President Donald Trump was like trailing in the polls, right? And Hillary Clinton was the top favorite of the media, and she was winning by double digits, of course, and in the polls. And on the election day, all the media, all the liberal media in America, New York Times, Washington Post, CNN, and all those pollsters were like predicting that Hillary Clinton is going to win by 90+%. And in fact, New York Times, you know, on the election day, stated and predicted that Hillary Clinton had this 99% chance of winning the presidency. But that, of course, was not the case, because President Trump won via landslide electoral votes, despite losing the what do you call this, the popular vote. All right, here in the Philippines, we have, of course, election. It's a very, very tough election being contested by, I don't know, more than 5 presidential candidates. Well, the only candidates that I can think of and name are my pick, Ping Lacson. He's my pick. I will be voting for him tomorrow. Followed by Leni Robredo, Bongbong Marcos, Isko Moreno, who else? Manny Pacquiao. And that's it. That's it. I'm sorry for the other candidates that I cannot name, but you know, in terms of name recall, I can only think of 5 candidates. All right. So my prediction for tomorrow. We're going to talk about prediction first. Okay. I predict that based on what I've seen so far, of course, I'd like my presidential pick, Ping Lacson, to win, because he's got everything. I mean, politically and ideologically, I don't really agree with some of Ping Lacson's policies, but he's the most consistent compared to the rest. I mean, most consistent when it comes to his track record and fighting corruption. But of course, you know, his rivals, especially Bongbong Marcos, is one of the most consistent when it comes to stealing money and corruption. So, you know, we've seen so far that Bongbong has this pending corruption or plunder case, and some others. So, all right. So my prediction is that based on what I've seen so far, Bongbong Marcos is going to win the presidency, and that's going to be a sad day for this country that fought against dictatorship of his father in 1986. And how I'm going to react tomorrow? You know, of course, it's going to be a sad day for this country, but I believe that Filipinos in this country is going to survive this onslaught, electoral onslaught, making Bongbong Marcos president of the Philippines. But of course, I have another prediction, which is alternate prediction, that Leni Robredo is going to win by algorithmic victory. Some outsiders might interfere in our elections, and that's what's gonna make her president of this country. So I'd like to expound on this, but I don't, of course, have evidence to back my assumptions. So those are my 2 predictions. Bongbong Marcos is going to win, and the margin is going to be slim. All these candidates have like less than 24 hours to really court the masses, to really convince them that, hey, I am the best leader for this country. But okay, we're going to get to the main point of this vlog. Why is Bongbong Marcos leading in the surveys, in the polls that have been conducted over the past months, leading to the elections tomorrow? All right, there are a few main reasons, and personally, I did confirm these reasons as to why Marcos is the leading candidate for the 2022 presidential election. So, however sad and unfortunate these reasons may be, we need to accept the facts that, hey, I mean, Filipinos can be so gullible when it comes to choosing their president. All right, let me just check here. The main reason Marcos is leading is, of course, the troll farms. Okay, so this needs to be fact checked, but I believe that troll farms exist, and I've seen this in the 2020 election in the United States, wherein I have this TikTok account. All right, I had this TikTok account, which TikTok banned, of course, and now I vow that I won't be going back to TikTok anymore. I'll be definitely banning and boycotting TikTok for being so repressive, for being so authoritarian. Well, authoritarian because, of course, it's being owned by China or the Chinese. It's an open secret. Na si Bongbong Marcos, according to reports, has or is being supported by troll farms or trolls. And this news, for example, from Los Angeles Times, mentioned about TikTok and TikTok tourists in the Philippines have been supporting Bongbong Marcos. And let me just continue my story about my experience on TikTok in 2020, for example. So that was election year between then incumbent president Donald Trump versus creepy pedo Joe Biden. And I was like promoting videos for Trump, and I was like posting videos critical of creepy pedo Joe Biden being a puppet, for example. And my videos were attacked by bots. I mean, they were like saying one thing, ACAB and BBM, etc. And that happened like in seconds, and it was attacked by hundreds of bots. I just couldn't show it to you. I was trying to look for that particular video. I did some kind of screenshots or screen recording of that TikTok account of mine, including the video attack by bots. It happened instantly, and it happened within a very short period of time. It was attacked by bots. They were saying one thing. They were obviously trolls and bots, and I don't know. Probably China was interfering in the election in the United States, because according to one expert guest of Joe Rogan, for example, I watched that. I just couldn't. I'm probably gonna post the video here. That expert in terms of trolls and cybersecurity, for example, that guy was saying, imagine a country, for example, a hostile country that has the capacity to maintain millions or hundreds of thousands of trolls, and they can influence an enemy country, like for example the Philippines. They can influence election by simply supporting a candidate that they think is weak to protect that country's national interest and sovereignty. And I believe that, and outgoing President Duterte said himself that BBM is a weak leader. And I don't know, but this needs to be further investigated. Is China interfering with Philippines election? Or definitely, as we've seen so far, Maria Ressa, who I'm a critic of Maria Ressa, revealed that they reported over 300 troll accounts to Twitter to be part of Bongbong Marcos' troll farm, and Twitter shut down those or deleted those troll accounts. So if you're gonna Google, for example, Marcos troll army on Google. Trolls show me one, they don't exist according to Marcos. Troll armies wage, but let's disregard the Filipino media outlets. Let's just uh, look at foreign reports, okay, from the United States and foreign companies. For example, Twitter removes hundreds of accounts linked to Philippines belonging to Marcos, for example, etc. So the SCMP, for example, fake news surrounds Philippines Robredo Marcos showdown. So SCMP, South China Morning Post, that is based, I think, in Singapore, has been reporting or posting a lot of news and articles about these troll farms supporting Bongbong Marcos. So that's one thing. That's one reason why Bongbong Marcos is leading, because of the impact of troll farms on the consciousness of the Filipino people. You know, we Filipinos are hooked. Nagiging Facebook user na tayo. Millions of Filipinos, overwhelming majority of Filipinos are using Facebook. And the battle when it comes to war, the battle when it comes to convincing the Filipino people is on Facebook. So if you'd like to control the Filipino nation, control Facebook. And we all know that millions of Filipinos are Facebook users. So second reason why Bongbong Marcos is leading is, of course, fake news. Okay. I've witnessed this personally. The impact of fake news on the consciousness and the knowledge of Filipinos. I talk to many or some of Bongbong supporters in my area, for example. So I talked to this BBM supporter. He's a dogmatic BBM supporter who's been posting a lot of fake news on his account. And the problem with, I don't have a problem with you picking Bongbong Marcos to be your president. That's not the problem. Of course, you have your constitutional right to pick your leader. Okay, that's your constitutional right. That should not be abridged by anyone. Not even Congress. Not even the Constitution guarantees that. Not even private persons, of course. All right, and this person who I know personally was posting not just fake news, but he's personally attacking the supporters of the other side, or the other candidates. Attacking in terms of mocking how they look, for example, their appearances, etc. And also, I have another neighbor who told me, this is an old woman, he's probably like 50 plus years old, who told me that Marcos has gold, has gold stash. That would make him one of the richest men in the world. And that's one old woman who I spoke with. And then another neighbor of mine, an old woman. Both of them are old women who support or who are planning to vote for Marcos. They believe that Marcos has gold stash, for example. I'm critical of both Marcos and Daquinos, okay? And I hate defending Daquinos in order to simply rebut or to destroy to destroy the fake news being proliferated by the Marcos supporters, or who I call the Marcos starts. And when I told this story to one of my former colleagues who became my friend, who's going to be voting, I believe, for Marcos tomorrow, this friend of mine, the story of of Chris Aquino stealing the jewelry collection of Imelda that was sequestered by the Philippine government, she thought, well, there's a possibility because the behavior the behavior or attitude of Chris Aquino, that she's got this tendency to really get, or not really steal, but to acquire temporarily these jewels because they were in power. And then I was thinking, these people have the tendency to come up with stupid justifications, stupid reasoning in order to protect and defend the Marcoses. So everything they have it's Marcos centric, or they are Marcos centrist in the way they interpret history, for example. So that's one thing. So these are just anecdotal experiences that I have, or I've had with Marcos supporters in my area. So everything they have, lahat, halos Marcos, for example, there's this old man who I've had heated arguments with. He's like blaming FBR for the BGC issue. The BGC territorial dispute between Taguig and Makati, for example, that it's FBR's fault and it was Marcos who really caused the development of that area, of the disputed area, including the enlisted men's barangays, the MBOs, for example, in Makati. I think 6 barangays that were adjudged to be part of the gig and not of Makati. And then this old man told me that it's because of Marcos that these areas developed. I mean, are you stupid? I mean, everything these people have in their own little minds are all Marcos. It's like they have this Marcos microchip in their brain, giving them false histories, false information, fake news. And these fake news are just like confirmatory information or BS information to confirm what they already think is history. All right, and all right, let's listen and let's watch. For example, some of the fakest fake news that we've seen so far, and that really fooled these people, because you know, especially the gullible, because I believe that there are 4 types of Marcos supporters. The first type of Marcos supporter is a Marcos cultist. This is someone you can never save. Yung Marcos cultist, usually old man or woman siya, may edad na siya. Ito yung sinasamba si Marcos, and we've seen videos so far of real Marcos cultists who believe that Marcos was God. I'm referring to the Marcos Senior, or the father of BBM. And the second type of Marcos supporter is the Marcos loyalist. Okay, and these are people who believe in Marcos gold, the Taliana gold, for example. They're the ones spreading fake news, and they know that it's either, well, they either believe that what they have or what they're trying to spread is fake news, or they simply believe that these are facts. All right, and the third one are the gullible Marcos fanatics. Okay, these are the Marcos fanatics. They're just gullible. They became Marcos supporters just because, you know, they're gullible, and they also believe in this Marcos gold, Marcos being the best president, the richest man in the world. And the last one, or the fourth type of Marcos supporter, is the troll farmed Marcos supporter. And these people can be saved. These people, the Marcos troll farm, were converted into being Marcos supporters because of these fake news and trolls that they've seen so far in social media. So, all right, so let's show examples of fake news that probably these Marcos troll farm were exposed to over the past months. So there's this post from this verified Marcos loyalist or supporter, diehard supporter, and let's listen to this video.
You can be the Miss Universe, but you can never be my Miss Philippines na trophy dahil kulang ang pagmamahal nyo. Kasi yung dalawang naging Miss Universe na ini-endorso nila ay yung pink na kandidato. You know, sana po makarating to sa kanila. You know, between the two of you, I would rather listen to the late Senator Miriam Defensor and the very brilliant Professor Clarita Carlos. Yung pong dalawang yun are great women of the Philippines na talagang may malasakit sa amin mga Filipino. BBM Sara supporters are voting for Sara Duterte. How can we discriminate women? Hindi po totoo yun. Hindi kami nadi-discriminate. Ayaw lang namin bumoto sa mga tumatakbong walang kakayanan. Siguro for a much lower position, but not being the president of the Philippines. Come on. Sara nga, napakagaling.
Let me just react to this video. And this is like a TikTok video posted by someone whose name is G. Avila. So this woman, I couldn't believe when I first watched this video. This woman believes that the standard for love of country is voting for her preferred candidate, and that is BBM. So she believes that when you're voting for the rival of BBM, you don't love this country. Hindi mo mahal yung bansa mo. I mean, who the hell is this sheeple na sabihin yan? Alam mo, nakakabanas pakinggan yung kabobohan, yung sobrang kabobohan, that this person thinks that if you don't vote for her preferred candidate, then you don't love this country. And she's trying to mock 2 women who proved something in their lives, and they became Miss Universe, okay? And they contributed something in this country that is historic, that this stupid, gullible, ableist woman will never achieve in 10 lifetimes, for example. Hindi niya ma-achieve yun. And then, she's got the audacity to mock their choices. And I'm not voting for Leno Robredo. I said I'll be voting for Ping Lacson. And she's claiming that, basically, she's claiming that her preferred candidate, BBM, is the best choice. And if you vote for my pick, then you love this country. I mean, who the hell is she to say that, when we all know that Bongbong Marcos never contributed anything. Even President Duterte said that walang ambag sa Pinas. Wala siyang ambag, wala siyang aral mangmang. Corrupt. May pending plunder case siya. Who are you to tell us kung sino yung standard ng love of country? These people are worse than morons. And she used the name of the late Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago, for example, and including the vlogger who posted this, to defend their stupid interpretation of things and history. Because yung kaso ni Miriam, for example, ay nilaglag siya ng mga Marcos stars. I mean, if we're gonna compare the votes between Miriam and her running mate in 2016, BBM, nilaglag talaga siya. So, yung vote we all know that the vote of Marcos was like 14 million plus. And yung boto lang ni Miriam ay 1.4 million. That's like 10%. The camp of Miriam being so disappointed and mad that the good name of the late senator is being used by these traitors, these morons who are supporting BBM. And who the hell are they to tell us na pag hindi mo boboto si Marcos, hindi mo mahal ang bayan mo? I mean, it's actually the opposite. If you're voting for the magnanakaw, anak ng magnanakaw, judged by both the Supreme Court of the Philippines and Switzerland in the United States, na magnanakaw sila, pamilya sila ng magnanakaw. I'm gonna show you as well a decision by the Swiss Supreme Court na galing nakaw ang yaman ng mga Marcos, and a lot of reasons not to vote for this criminal and traitor and walang ambag sa Pinas. Okay, so this is from the verified legacy account, Miriam Defensor Santiago. Your son, they're referring to Marcos' son or BBM's son. Your son and sister didn't even vote for Miriam in 2016. So itong mga maka BBM na ginagamit yung pangalan ni Miriam, hindi nila binoto yung running mate. Alam natin na may sakit, pero wouldn't you be voting the more reason that you're gonna vote for Miriam? Kasi pag nawala siya, and then sinabi naman niya, pag nawala siya, magiging president si Bongbong Marcos, right? So why? Nilaglag 10% of, well, probably not all of them are BBM, 10% na Marcos stars ay bumoto kay Miriam. Nilaglag talaga siya. Ginamit yung pangalan niya up until today that she's dead. So there wasn't even a single MDS poster in Ilocos. Most of them were Duterte's. When we created MDS BBM posters, MDS rejected it and said, hindi naman ako kinakampanya ng mga yan. So naawa talaga ako kay Miriam kasi Miriam thought that she could use the ready-made Marcos vote to become president. Kumbaga, she embraced evil. Okay? Kung sa tingin niya, yun yung magpapanalo sa kanya, she embraced evil. But then, at the end of the day, siya yung ginamit. She's the one being used. And that's probably the reason na napadali yung buhay ni Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago. When we went to Ilocos, to your sister's office in Ilocos, for a courtesy call and to push and to put up posters, we waited for almost 5 hours. And when we arrived, she said, "Not here. Okay na kami dito. Not here." Kumbaga, tinaboy sila. Years later, the president admitted that he was indebted to your sister. They're referring to President Duterte. Indebted to your sister, for she was among the politicians who funded his presidential campaign. So, nilaglag si Miriam, and then these morons, these sheeple, for example, are now using the good name of the late senator in order to promote their candidate. And now they have the audacity to tell us that, which is so infuriating, really, that if you don't vote for Marcos, then you don't love this country. In fact, these are the sheeple who hate this country. They hate this country that much that they're voting for a looter, okay, for someone who never ever contributed anything to this country in terms of taxes, in terms of good leadership. If I'm from Ilocos region, okay, I'm from Ilocos region, and I can attest that the Ilocos Norte, the province of Marcos, never ever improved. It stagnated. Okay, they're saying that there's this windmill in Ilocos Norte. That's a project, political agenda, and that's what's so infuriating. These people are paepal talaga na wala silang ambag sa Pilipinas. Wala silang, even the 13 knows that, said that, for example. So before I'm gonna lose track here, let me continue.
Natin yung ating tandem na BBM Sara.
Okay, so this
Guys,
sheeple is going to talk now.
Kay Miss Pia works back as well as kay Catherine. Okay? But let me say this then. Ilang beses na ba na nakakita kayo ng post, message, or sabihin na lang natin tweet, or even hear that they're saying parehong-pareho daw si MDS o si Mayor Defensor Santiago kay Lenny Robredo.
Okay, this video is quite long, but ito lang masasabi ko sa sheeple na to.
Magaling na.
Okay, I think I already said my piece about this matter. The fact that Miriam was just used by these BBM tards and sheeple to advance the interests of their cult. And one advice for this woman, or I hate being accused of misgendering, but I'm gonna use the pronoun her, okay, based on what I see. That never ever resort to authority fallacy, okay, in order to defend your candidate. Okay, it's fallacious. Okay, appeal to authority is for stupid people. Okay, na si Miriam magaling, blah blah blah, and therefore I'm right. I mean, you don't even know the background. You don't even know what happened to Miriam, how she was betrayed by your kind. All right, and now you're using her name in order to put out all this stupid propaganda in support of Marcos, right? So yeah, fake news is one thing that really promoted the Marcos brand, and that's why one of the reasons why he might win tomorrow. And I don't give a damn. If he's gonna win, but we're gonna learn our lesson the bitter and painful way if that's gonna happen. So let's listen to this, another fake news.
Bago pa nila pasukin ang politika,
Mayaman daw Mama Marcos.
ng royal family na Talyano. Ang mga Talyano, sila lang naman ang nagmamay-ari ng buong Pilipinas noong unang panahon. Ang pangalan pa dati ng bansa natin ay Maharlika. Alam niyo ba na ang binabit kay Marcos ay
Alright, let me interrupt this video. I mean,
ng mga ginto. Ayaw nila.
how many of these
dahil bata pa
sheeple,
lamang ito ay nakasuhan na ng murder. Estudyante pa lang siya noon.
okay, how many of these sheeple and retards know that Marcos's running mate for vice presidency, okay, in 1965 was a Lopez, okay, part of the Lopez clan, okay. So bago nag-away-away mga Lopez at Marcos, magkaalyado yan politically, and the Lopez were in politics in those decades. Now the Lopez's resorted not to join politics. Nagiging kingmaker na lang mga Lopez family. Now, Lopez yung running mate, and kagaya tayo nung America noon na buy one take one, president, vice president, manalo sila pareho. Okay? And ginamit yan kasi may makinarya ang mga Lopez. Okay? Kumbaga, yung pagpili noon ng vice president is strategic. Okay? Why would you choose a vice president? Kasi may pera siya. Kagaya rin sa Amerika, kung bakit pinipili yung mga vice president, kagaya ni Bush at Cheney, for example, and Obama and Biden, for example. So may makinarya ang pamilya Lopez. Sa kanila yung ABS-CBN, may pera, etc. Kung bakit siya pinili. Alright? So hindi siya mayaman. Kumbaga, katamtaman lang yung yaman na kasi ang mga Marcos, yung tatay niya, na si Don Mariano Marcos, nasa politika. I mean, this is a family that's been in politics for nearly 100 years. Binubudol na nila tayo. Yung negosyo na politika. So, in terms of how rich they are, probably yung yaman nila noon ay makukumpara lang sa yaman ni Isko Moreno, for example. But they're not that rich like Villar, okay, who's a billionaire today. So, itong mga sinasabi itong Talyano Gold, katang-isip lang ito para sa mga morons. Okay, and they're claiming that Marcos had 1 million tons of gold. I mean, that can be easily destroyed by logic and facts, for example, because 1 million tons? Are you kidding me? I mean, are you so stupid to believe that conspiracy theory? Because there were only less than 200,000 tons of gold mined throughout history. Less than 200,000, and you're claiming 1 million? Gano'n ka kabobo just to believe that? Yung mga Talyano, gold trader, etc. Ayaw pa rin. I mean, because Marcos was... Okay, we're going to talk about Marcos being a CIA puppet. How he declared martial law, with the imprimatur knowledge and support of the CIA. Okay? And si Marcos yung lumapit mismo sa CIA. Because CIA at that time had its headquarters in Manila. So yung headquarter ng CIA sa Asia is in Manila because, that time, CIA, the Americans were occupying the Philippines in before 1950s, before our independence. But even after our independence, mayroong mga treaties, tidings McDuffie, kung saan may treaty ang America with the Philippines that they can invest here 100%, even though we already had our independence in the late 1950s. So fake news, yun din yung reason. And the next one is, of course, Marcos ruled this country for more than 20 years, 21 years to be exact. All right, imagine the amount of brainwashing that we endured, the Filipinos in the past century. 21 years of brainwashing. That's like from Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo, kukumpara natin, parang siya naging dictator from 2000 to 2021. All right, and just imagine that. At yung gullibility ng mga Pinoy, yung walang aral ng mga Pinoy, isa rin yun. I mean, we need to help them. We need to, in a good way, really. But of course, nandito na yung mga loyalists na nagpapakalat ng mga to, yung mga cultists na naniniwalang God, si Marcos. So tomorrow it's going to be a big day. It's going to be a day wherein we need to save our country from the Marcosian rule. I mean, the fact that si Marcos, si BBM, puppet lang yan ng mga power brokers. I mean, because he can be blackmailed anytime. I mean, he cannot even go to the United States. Okay? Because if he's going to go to the United States, he's going to get arrested because of the existing contempt order against him and his family. 350 plus million contempt order, or $300 plus million. All right, so what else? Reason. The gullibility of the Filipino people, the fact that he's being bankrolled by the oligarchs, the Marcos oligarchs and today's oligarchs. Dennis Oy, okay, he's being bankrolled by probably China, because they need a weak leader to be the president of this country, so they can control the Philippines. Okay, he's being bankrolled by the corrupt dynasties, Arroyo, Enrile, Estradas, and the corrupt people. Just imagine yung mga magnanakaw, yung mga corrupt na tao sa likod ng Marcos tandem, Marcos Duterte tandem and brand. Right? So that's the reason why I believe that they have a high chance of winning tomorrow, because in this case, evil will win tomorrow. I hate to say it, but that's the reality that we're faced with tomorrow. And in the next vlog, I'll be discussing a lot more issues that are important to the future of this nation. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And have a good one to all of you, and God bless the Philippines.